So Senator John Kennedy goes on Fox News, and he does not hold back when it comes to the mayoral candidate in New York City. Watch as he exposes this fraud for what he truly is.
John Kennedy of Louisiana, he said at best, quote, "I believe our country was founded by geniuses, but it's being run by idiots." And that's just one of many of the idioms that you can find in his brand new book, How to Test Negative for Stupid. Anyway, and why Washington never will. Senator Kennedy is with us now. That is a great title for a great book. Congratulations, Senator. But it kind of reflects the age we live in many ways, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And let me say a word about Mr. Mamdani. He's a socialist. We know that because his purse fell open and a copy of Socialism for Dummies fell out. Let me explain socialism to you. I read this somewhere. Pay your kid $20 to clean out the garage, and when he's finished, take $15 from him and give it to your other kid who didn't help. That's socialism. It's soul crushing. Socialism is for morons. It's untethered to reality. There's no historical case for it. It's just an equal sharing of misery. And for all those howdy-doodies that say, well, socialism is better than it's better than free enterprise, ask yourself this question: When the Berlin Wall fell, who ran to which side? And I think that answers the case for socialism versus free enterprise. I hope people will buy the book. It's going to come out in October. It's not a policy book per se. It's a story book. Many of the stories are humorous. Some of them are bizarre. They're all true. I use stories to try to help the people understand what the U.S. Senate's really like, to explain to them why in Washington normal is just a setting on the dryer, and to make the case about why it doesn't have to be that way if we just have a return to common sense. I tell stories about President Trump, about my time, the hour I spent with Joe Biden, about Lindsey Graham, about John McCain. I think it'll make you laugh. And I think it'll make you laugh, and it may want to make you want a day drink.
I may have to. I don't know. Back to the people that you're mentioning and the people that you talk about. Maybe Lindsey Graham will be the more interesting story. I have no idea. But you look at the leadership now of the Democratic Party. You've got AOC flying around in a private jet with Grandpa Bernie to fight the oligarchy. They're, spending the $3,500 on hotels and fancy places, and dining out and living like kings and queens. And okay, that's fine, but I thought they were fighting the oligarchy. Then you got Mamdani, then you got the squad, then you got AOC and the squad, then you got Jasmine Crockett, your friend Pocahontas. Those are the leading voices now of the Democratic Party. Chuck Schumer doesn't say anything. He's scared to death of them all.
Well, look, I don't hate anyone, Sean, but Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is a creation of the media. She checks all the boxes. She's young. She's liberal. She's attractive. She's ethnic. Her problem is that she's shallow as a puddle. You scratch the surface, and you just get more surface. For her recent conduct, which you talked about, she gets and deserves a certificate of hypocrisy. And I would remind her that it's not your beliefs that make you a good person. It's your behavior. Watch what politicians do, not what they say.
some of America's you're the most quotable senator. Always be yourself unless you suck. I say this gently. This is why the aliens won't talk to us. If you trust government, you obviously failed history class. I believe that our country was founded by geniuses, but is being run by idiots. Always follow your heart, but take your brain with you. And I can keep going. I've asked you this once before. Do you actually prepare these lines, or do they come up spontaneously?
Nobody writes my
material,
the things I say for me. You know, I've always been like this. God gave me the right to remain silent, but not the ability, and I just say what I think. And Lindsey Graham's coming on. Let me give you some advice. If you take Lindsey's advice, you'll end up drunk, so be careful.
I'm going to tell him he said that. One of the things you say, common sense is illegal in Washington. I know, I've seen it firsthand. Senator Kennedy, great to have you as always. We're looking forward to the book.
I absolutely love what he said there about when the Berlin Wall fell, because that describes the whole argument right there on socialism versus capitalism. When push comes to shove and you have an opportunity to live in a socialist nation and a capitalist nation, people are going to take capitalism 10 times out of 10, because socialism has and will never work in a free and open society. It will only lead to tyranny, oppression, and the worst things about human nature. And it really saddens me that the New York City is likely to elect Mamdani, who is actively opposed about everything that makes America, the freedom of expression, the ability to live the American dream. You're not going to be able to do that in New York City under Zohran Mamdani. That's just a fact. The problem of this issue really comes down to a lot of people in America and a lot of voters are just uninformed about the dangers of a socialist nation, because they themselves have never had to live through it, and they will never take the time to actually read up about it. Instead, they just hear these buzzwords like, oh, everything's going to be cheaper, you're going to be able to do this, you're going to be able to do that. They promise you the moon and the stars, but eventually you're just going to be happy if you have bread. The greatest weapon of mass destruction in society today is just ignorance. And it really does aggravate me that the people who purport this idea of socialism the most to the uninformed masses are the same people who are flying private jets all across the world and claiming that they're taking the moral high ground, also so concerned about climate change, this, that, or the other. All these ideas themselves that they push down on us, but they never live themselves. If you want to live in a socialist country so bad, how about you move to one? If you want to live in America, you have to abide by what America stands for: freedom, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. But the last thing I want to say about socialism is that they take the money from capitalism, then redistribute it. What happens when we live in a socialist society long enough and there's no more money? I guess in New York City, they're going to find out soon enough if they keep down this road and elect this madman. But let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you think New York City is going to be dumb enough to vote this man in? And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.